Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, CJ Host, and I am back here for another Cinema Corner podcast, y'all. Today is a beautiful day because I finished a series. Anytime I finish a series, it's a good day for me. But yeah, man, today we are going to be talking about a show that I necessarily didn't really get into until maybe later in a couple of the season, and it was really because of Nia, who actually got me into watching this show, and I actually enjoyed it. So the show I'm going to be talking about today on the Cinema Corner is Ted Lasso. Yes, Ted Lasso came out in 2020. I am very late. It just had its third season and just ended it, and I couldn't be any more happier. Not that it was a bad show. It was not a bad show. The show was actually really good as well. I laughed my ass off. On a lot of different parts of the show, I laughed my ass off, and I really enjoyed the fact that I could actually watch a show and just get great laughter in. And it wasn't laughter that was like forced upon. It wasn't like slapstick. It was laughter that was like a little bit like smart laughs. I don't know how you say that. Like, I don't know if you say a smart laugh, but it definitely was something that like some of it made you think to laugh, and some of it was like you had to know references in order to get the joke, which I kind of liked about that. So I would say this show is maybe not for a newer generation. I would say, millennials, and back. This show is more for you because I think some of the jokes that they tell in the show that you'll get, because they do make a lot of references to like older movies, plays, and all kind of different things. Yeah, I don't know if you're under the age of 20 if you're gonna really understand this show or really get it. But there's parts that are good though. Don't trust me. There's parts that there are parts for those people that want to watch it. That's maybe under the age of 21. But I really think it's for people that's maybe like above the age of 25 or whatnot that kind of can get some of these references. But if you have a cultural references when it comes to like theater, I felt like a couple, maybe because I'm just thinking about the last season. Had like a couple of theater references, especially at the end, which was really dope. I'm not going to give that away because there's probably some people out there still watching the series. So I'm not going to give that away, but the series should have been over. By the time this come out, the series is over. So you should be okay. So, record that. Spoiler alert, no spoiler alert. So if you don't know what Ted Lasso is, there is a comedy drama. It literally deals with an American from, I forgot what state he comes from, but literally he takes a job, a football job over in the UK. And his idea of football, he thought was like American football, but not knowing that in the UK, it's really football to them is soccer. So spelled differently. I mean, some of us know that. Some sports people know that football is different in the UK and just in Europe in general than it is in America. Like they categorize like there's American football and then there's football. So he's dealing as being a coach from America, trying to motivate and teach these professional football players, his style of coaching. And so he's really, it's really a lot of him adapting to the culture of being out there in the UK. It's really a lot of him just, being himself throughout the whole process and not trying to like really be somebody he's not, which I really love. The fact that he really didn't change much of his character. Like over time, his character, I don't say got better, but it definitely had a progression in a good way where it was like, okay, he came from one spot, now he's here. He dealt with a lot of personal issues in his life, and now he's, where he's at. I'm not going to say much or more of that. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed the show. Like, there was some great laughs in the show. Like, some of the references they make are hilarious to me. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed that. I also love when a story or when a show has a great impact. And what do I mean by a great impact is it has a message, whether it deal with some type of social message. Like in this, we deal with LGBTQ, we deal with, being a fatherhood and, divorces and being on both sides of the spectrum, either A being the stepdad or A being the dad, and separated from their kids or separated from their from their significant other. We deal with jealousy issues. We deal with identity issues. We deal with broken issues. Like there's so many things that we deal with in this show, and it does it from a comedic standpoint, in which I really enjoyed watching it. It wasn't like a hard watch. You know what I mean? It was a very easy watch. It was very like, this is what is going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, with a cool little twist to it, which I liked it. They had a couple people in the show. I'm pretty sure they've been in other things. I just have not seen them in the other things, to be quite honest. I don't know. You can watch the show on Apple Plus. It comes out on Apple TV. I'll say Apple Plus, like Disney Plus, but I don't know why. So yeah, and it's categorized as a genre as a sports comedy drama. And it's all of that. It's literally all of that. It actually gave me a little bit of insight to, football, European football and soccer, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay, which was a great little feel to it, because I feel like as a sports person, we kind of know that a lot of people love soccer. I didn't realize how many people love soccer until you go to the UK. Soccer is a big thing to them. They support their teams like how we have Raider Nation, like just diehard supporters, or Dodgers who are diehard supporters. I'm not gonna say Laker fans, because some Laker fans are not diehard Laker fans. They just there for the season, and that's it. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll wait. But definitely football in the UK, football, like I said, I'm using the word football, but you know what I mean, soccer, really is a big thing in the UK. So, or in Europe in general, I'm sorry. So they really go out and support their teams. They go to the pubs, they go to the bars. It's full, it's packed. It's a damn experience. Like, I want to go just to experience that. I really do. I want to go just to experience being at a soccer game in the UK. Don't know what I'll get from it, because I really don't understand the damn rules of the game so much. But I think over time, like Ted Lasso did, we'll figure out more of the rules and more of the regulations of what goes on to building a football team. The finale season, well, I feel like it was a perfect ending to it. You know what I mean? I think everything they did in the finale made sense. So this is going to be a spoiler. So Ted Lasso decides that he's going back home to America because he has a son, that is just visiting him once in a while. But he still lives in America with his ex-wife. And you can see at the end where he comes to realization that his son really needs him there. And so he decides to leave a professional job, coaching a European football team to go back home and be with his son, which was a great moment for the show, a great moment for him, which I really enjoyed. And then the ex-wife at the point is starting to date people. She's dating this one guy at the end, and you can kind of see in the episode that both the son and the mom were not feeling him through a lot of nonverbal cues, which I liked and picked up. I don't know if everybody got this and picked it up. And I thought this was really smart directing, where at the end of the show, when Ted finally gets to the house, there's a wide shot of his ex-wife standing in the doorway with the door open. And then prior to that, basically what was end up happening was the son and the wife were sitting in the living room watching her ex-husband football game on TV, because they had made it to like the championship. And so the son's excited, she's excited, but the guy that she's with is not like super excited. He's just like kind of like nonchalant about it, not really being invested with them into the show. Into the game, and you can kind of see there's starting to be a disconnect. And at the end, the wide angle pans out, and she's standing in the doorway by herself, door wide open. And you see Ted come in with all his, like, he's starting to bring in his luggage, and it's the big thing of luggage and stuff like that. So some would say like, oh, maybe the husband's still in the door, maybe he's still in the house, or the boyfriend's still in the house. But I really think it was a symbolization of like the door is open for Ted to go back into the house to be a part of the family, because they both realized, what they wanted in life and what changed them, and the experience changed Ted, which I really love. So yeah, I know that got a little deep really quick, but I love it. In this, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Like I said, dealt with a lot of different issues, dealt with a lot of different people. Super comical. I mean, Yeah, it's just a good watch, man. It's just a good watch. Like I didn't binge watch this series. I did maybe watch maybe 2 episodes in a row, and I really do enjoy it. So I was like watching it over the length of time, like because I didn't want to like. I think it was like it would have been too much soccer at one point. So I was like, I'm just gonna watch like maybe 2 episodes here and there, or 1 episode. So I kind of like drawed it out. So I really enjoyed the fact that I drew it out a little bit more. But yeah, so like I said, you can watch it on Apple TV. Ted Lasso. It's really cool. Really funny show. I really enjoyed it. Came out in August 14th, 2020. Production's all in London, so I love it when something's actually in a different location. So now it's just a little bit fun to really consider. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this show a solid 8, man. Like because it was funny. It was funny. And like I said, it wasn't like, slapstick funny or they did something stupid. And, it was funny, but it was just like, it was really, it was not educational. It was really, like I said, it was like smart comedy. I don't know how to explain smart comedy. Not that you have to be smart to get the comedy, but it's just like a reference people use. Like it wasn't like slapstick. It wasn't like, with a drum beat and like with a punchline. You know what I mean? It was more just like, you had to think about it a little bit, but it's like, oh my God, that makes sense. And there were some that were just like spot on. And the physical comedy in this was great. Not that they were like hitting each other, but the physical comedy, like how their facial cues were when people said things, was funny, and how they interacted with each other physically was funny, and noticing the demeanors of it. And there were so many different characters in the show. That's what I liked about it too. There's so many different dynamics in the show as far as characters are concerned. Like there's a character that you probably could relate to in the show, which was cool. But like I think it's a couple of those of the great balance of comedy meets, real life situations. And I love that about the show. And I really, really would employ anybody to go watch Ted Lasso because it is freaking hilarious. I really did enjoy this show. It was one of my favorites. So with that said, y'all, I am wrapping this up because I feel like I don't know what else I want to say about the show other than the fact that I like the show. I think that's all I have for you today. Yeah, Ted Lasso, man. I wouldn't know if you would binge watch this, but I think we save it over time. Don't know when the next season's coming out. If it's going to be a next season, doesn't look like there'll be another season. But in the show, they kind of alluded to maybe having an all-girl soccer team. A women's soccer team. So maybe there'll be some different transitions there. But once again, y'all, this has been CJ. I've been on the Cinnamon Corner. I see you when I see you. Peace.